Hello, this is Julia Fisher, teaching you Playwriting 101. Welcome to our freestanding episode called This Is Not a Movie, where today we'll be answering the question, how is writing a play different than writing a movie? So let's go. I have read a lot of bad plays, and over time, I began to realize that many of these plays were bad because they were trying too hard to be a movie. And don't get me wrong, I love movies. Movies are wonderful. But movies can do a lot of things that don't work well on stage. For example, in a movie or even a short film, it feels very natural to have lots of switches between locations, to have switches between time spans, to have lots of characters or scenes of crowds. But on stage, switching too quickly between locations and scenes or having too many characters all at once can feel really jarring to an audience, especially if you're writing a 10-page play or a one-act. So today, I'm going to teach you some helpful rules on how to write your play like a play and not like a movie. Pablo Picasso is often quoted as saying, "Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist." And that's what we're going to do here today. The rules I'm going to teach you are not rules you need to follow forever, but they're helpful rules as you're starting your journey as a playwright to help you learn some good tools and techniques that then you can break later. The same goes for the rules I'm about to give you. These are not rules that you'll always have to follow, but especially if you are just beginning your journey as a playwright, I can promise you that following these rules will make your writing stronger and will give you tools and techniques to improve your writing later on when you decide to get rid of these rules. Also, if you're just starting to write plays, it can be a good idea to try your hand at a few 10-minute plays before you start tackling that big full-length play that you want to write. So the guidelines I'm about to give you are specifically for 10-minute plays, although they can be transferred to longer works as well. First up, for a 10-minute play, you should have 2 to 3 characters. I'm serious. If you have more than 3 characters in a 10-minute play, we don't get to spend enough time getting to know the characters that you have, and it just feels a little overwhelming. Also, please don't have a narrator. Narrators can be really interesting if you're really talented at using them, but if you're just starting, get rid of the narrator. We don't need someone telling us what's going on. We can follow along with you. Next, you should have one setting or location. No switching between scenes, no switching between rooms. Just keep it to one room or one outside location. Additionally, you should have one time period of 10 consecutive minutes. This means that only 10 minutes of time passes for your characters. You shouldn't have any lapses in time, no the next day or a few hours later. We want to experience 10 minutes just as your characters are experiencing 10 minutes, all in a row. This keeps us focused and engaged and without all of those quick shifts of location or time that work in movies but don't work in a 10-minute play. Next, your play should be reasonable on a small budget. If you ever want to see your play staged anywhere, there's a good likelihood that your theater is not going to have the budget or the capacity for a giant fireworks display or 3 working automobiles on stage. The story of your play can be big and explosive, but just make sure that it doesn't need any special effects that your ordinary theater might not be able to provide for you. Next, if you're writing a 10-minute play, your play should be 9.5 to 10 pages. If you use the formatting that I will teach you in a different video, then 1 page equals about 1 minute. In most contests that request 10-minute plays, and there are a lot of them, really do want like 9.5 to 10 minutes in their plays. One other helpful thing to think about is the scope of your play, or how many things you have going on. The longer your play, the more plot points and conflicts you'll be able to handle effectively. But if you're writing a 10-minute play and your rising action involves a secret pregnancy and lying and cheating and stealing and a gun being pulled out and a proposal, then your play is going to feel incredibly overwhelming. It may be effective at being a parody of a soap opera, but it's not going to feel like a genuine, effective drama. So let's answer our question from the beginning. How is writing a play different than writing a movie? Well, we know now that on stage you need fewer characters, fewer time shifts, and fewer locations. Use these rules to help you write a few 10 or 20-minute plays, and it will train you with the tools that you need to be able to write longer plays. Once you've used these rules and learned why they work, then you can break them on purpose like an artist. So get to work. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time, and happy writing.